exercise, we'll see how Global Natural Resources interfaces its large account customers for onboarding and then through ongoing support. We have two persona here to take a look at. One is how we would court or bring in a new customer who's never visited with GNR before. In this case, Robert Byer will be out surfing social networks and will be drawn into the GNR site where he'll be engaging with others using social business in an enterprise portal. After the relationship is established, then we can support all facets of the organization. Here we'll see a administrative support function more around fulfillment, and the GNR is a distributor of petroleum products, so there is a supply chain and fulfillment activity here that needs to be supported, and you'll see how social business wraps that. So let's get started. First, let's drop into Robert. He's at home, maybe surfing social nets. In this case, it's Facebook, and he happens to visit the GNR site. He's drawn there by compelling other crumbs that are left in other facets of his Facebook experience. GNR has been very good about recognizing the rise of social networks, and therefore has been quick to put up a site and try to encourage advocates and others to visit there, but they know they can't really control the customer here, so very quickly they want to bring them into their own walled garden environment, and here we see how that's done. So the link in the Facebook site brings you to an actual portal from GNR. This is an anonymous customer at this point. He has, however, learned from his kids about OpenID and how easy it is to register using credentials. This is good for him because it's fewer clicks, and it's good for GNR because it allows them to now, with information about this customer, personalize the experience. And so we see already this has been tailored to him through his name. We might elect content for him based on who he is, depending on how much information has been posted in that OpenID record. And if you haven't looked at those, you should. There's an incredible amount of information. So in this case, perhaps we know he's with a firm that manages fleets, and therefore we can have tailored content here. Up in the right corner, he may be drawn to a blog entry. If GNR is like most firms in the consumer packaged goods industry, they're trying to work with their distributor and wholesaler chains to add value to their product. And so here you actually have one of their PhDs in logistics blogging, and of course he's visible to the external community. You'd like him to be made available if it's appropriate, but certainly they can look at his profile and all of his more recent wikis, blogs, and so on. And this particular piece, he talks about how administrative infrastructure can actually lower costs significantly, a point that appeals to Robert. His current vendor has been costing him quite a bit with legacy systems and multiple unrelated portals that he has to somehow figure out a way to tie together. So he's quick to respond to Dr. Winfrey. One of the key points he's measured on is bringing benefit back to his firm at Acme, the name of his company, and so he's concerned about return on investment but didn't see that directly in the blog, so that was the point of his message. However, he does notice that he can open a chat directly with one of the service advisors. So here we see Valerie is accessible. He'll interact with her directly, and Valerie has at her fingertips a video library which makes her ability to communicate with clients much easier. She used to have to talk them through references and have extended discussions, but now that the video library, a key function, a Web 2.0 kind of capability in this portal, the video's up and now you can hear from a customer about their particular experience. So with that, he's been brought into the portal, he's interacted with another human being, one that he might have a persistent relationship with. He was able to contact a call center or a service agent. All these are very engaging experiences, and then finally hear from another customer in the richest way possible, rich media, video, about the potential that he's particularly interested in. In this case, he would go on, he might register on the site and sign up some of his administrative team as well as others to start interacting directly with Global Natural Resources. And we'll take now a drop in on Acme a few months later, where they've already got established relationships and businesses going back and forth. Might be reports. Certainly for this type of product in a distribution network, there's plenty of administrative issues around fulfillment, and that creates quite a burden potentially for GNR's customers. But what they've done with their enterprise portal is consolidated all of the information for those clients outside the firewall in a rich portal. So here you can see the Acme interactions, essentially all the different types of things that could be handled here. Maybe as well their system as a ticket management system had service level agreements and so on that are managed. So we'll click on the first one. In this case it's an invoice issue, and Tina is measured as an administrative person on that, and so we're going to take a look at these invoices that are outstanding to try to reconcile them. And I'm just giving you one example of what could be n number of tedious fulfillment exercises, but in here you have a split shipment occurred, and that causes a mismatch against the original invoice. And there may have been a number of these at this point. You know, perhaps Tina's concerned about this, and so as we showed, just as we showed with the executive interaction, we can now start an interaction with Valerie here. Her chat session opens up, and essentially we're able to share that we have a short order split shipment, and of course Valerie is watching the same service level agreement on her side back at GNR, and so she's able to very quickly offer up an e-meeting. She's arranged this already because she can with her supplier. Supplier is also online in the same network, and therefore she asked Tina to join an e-meeting that's in progress. So the e-meeting opens up. Initially it's Valerie and Tina here, and then we see Max joins. Max is the third party for the logistics firm. Conversation goes around why we needed split shipments. The inventory distribution had a snag. One of the distribution centers was not properly constructed, and so he's pleased to share the new information that his firm has invested just for this particular relationship with Acme and other regional distributors in that region to fix that problem by building a new distribution center with essentially straight through shipping. So Hi-Res able to bring everybody together and using images and so on build trust with the customer. And so with that, you would expect that Tina's impressed and maybe inclined, because their problem is resolved, to now order more. So the promotion from the marketing system, which by the way was also on Robert's portal, since we have 360 marketing infrastructure set up, she's able to link to the commerce page to start the order management process. Now in the discussion she shared that this missed shipment is impacting her key performance indicators, and as well as fulfillment activity, she's also measured on keeping inventory levels minimal. And so Valerie's been thinking about this, and because she can readily invite the customer into, in this case, a logistics and distribution community that GNR has just set up for their largest and most important customers. And so at this point, Tina's even more impressed, obviously, because she's now able to join and have direct interaction with experts on, from GNR on distribution, billing issues, inventory. She might interact with other members that she can access through the panel here. These could be other customers or other members of the distribution network, of course. A full suite of Web 2.0 activity, but at the end, once problems are solved and vetted here, new ideation is able to surface very quickly, and in fact can be quantified using a sort of crowdsourcing, something called an ideation blog, where customers can make suggestions. Those suggestions are voted. In this case, since her concern is inventory management, she notices that the top idea that's surfacing here from Gardner Rains, who she can look at and see who he is and understand who he is, and then read his piece here and maybe add a comment to it. In this case, she supports his idea very much. She might want to go ahead and submit her comment, and of course she would add her vote to the balance. And this ensures that her voice is heard, and of course her comment comes to the top. She's able now to maybe even start a dialogue with Garner about what's the best way to do this that satisfies her needs as well as those of GNR. So that's a quick tour. You saw in 10 minutes there onboarding as well as day-to-day management, integration with legacy applications, and then most importantly wrapping the relationship with a full suite of social interactions to not only draw people in and engage them, but to build trust through wide aperture interactions and then persistent spots where ideas can be vetted, frustrations can be let out, and the best of all comes forward in the form of ideation such as what you see here. With that, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. If you're interested, we can personalize this demonstration for your firm. Take care.